skate world, E-Skate Hooligan here, and I know I haven't put a video out in a little while, and I apologize so I'm going to hopefully make up for that today. It's been an absolutely fantastic summer so far, and you know, sometimes when we create these videos, we forget to take time for us to put our feet on these boards, to enjoy the sport, as well as to get time on the boards so that the information that we're giving you is accurate and is actual understanding of the board. So, you know, I'm back into the video production mode and spending some time on creating these videos. Several of you have also asked about the shoulder. How's the shoulder doing after the dislocation? It's doing great. It really took a toll. You know, before this dislocation, I was doing about 100 push-ups. Actually, not about. I was doing 100 push-ups a day. And when you go from doing 100 push-ups a day down to doing nothing the next day, it really takes a toll on your upper body, on your shoulder, even your lower body strength. So the thing of it is that it's taken a lot to get back into this. I'm up to 30 push-ups per day, 30 to 100. That's a lot to make up. I don't know if I'll get back to the 100 or not, but I'm sure going to try. So between building the shoulder and rebuilding the body after that, it has really taken a lot of time and a lot of energy. Now, we've got some subsequent videos that are going to be coming up. Today, we're going to do kind of a short update on these three boards, but we are going to dig into these boards in subsequent videos as to how they're holding up after hundreds of miles, so that you get an idea of, once you buy one of these boards, you know, does it crap out after 100 miles or is it still running strong at 500 miles? And we're going to actually talk about that, and we're going to actually show that. We're going to talk a little bit about it today. We're also going to talk a little bit of some subsequent videos in regards to wheels. I have been doing a lot of work with some different wheels, whether it's your off-road wheels, your rubber wheels, or whether it's your traditional skate wheels. You all know that I run the cloud wheels. I run the cloud wheels on all my boards. I really love these wheels. They are my wheel of choice. Right now, I have no desire or no plan to move away from them unless something better comes around. But there are times that I do run a traditional skate wheel, and there's some times that I run a rubber wheel or even an off-road wheel. And we're going to talk about that. Now, granted, I understand I'm not a wheel expert. You know, E-Skate Unity is a really good guy to watch on YouTube in regards to wheels. The guy has hundreds of wheels. He has some really good background knowledge in them. He might be someone to watch, but I'm at least going to give you my opinion and tell you how they work on these different boards and when I use them. Also, we're going to do a video on shoes. You know, when you ride these boards, you know, I'm putting 28, 35. One day I put 54 miles on a series of boards. You get that foot fatigue. And, you know, there's really nothing that you can do to completely remove it, but I do think a good quality shoe helps minimize that. Now, I'm an old school skate shoe guy. I grew up on Globes. I love Globes. I love the bulkier shoes. I don't know. I just fell in love with them from day one. I love how they fit and that kind of stuff. But I'm a Globe guy. We're going to talk about the old school shoes. Maybe you're a DC guy, okay? I like DCs. Okay, I don't think they're quite as good as the Globes, but I do like the DCs. You know, these are the high tops here. And you would be remiss to not include Vans in any shoe review. Vans, in my opinion, are the skate culture shoe. They've been around for years. I really like them. I have several. You have no idea. I have several pairs of skate shoes. We're going to talk about which one I think works the best and when I wear what shoe. So look for that coming out in the very, very near future. Now, let's get into these boards. This is, in front of you, you have the Meepo Hurricane, you have the Ownboard Zeus, and, oh, by the way, this is the Ownboard Zeus OG version. This is not the Pro version. And then you get into the Eovan GTS over here, and we're going to talk a little bit about these boards. As you know, the Ownboard Zeus is my favorite board. I love this board. And if the Pro version is anything like this and even better, I'm going to love it even more. This board right now has 648 miles on it. I am still getting between 32 and 35 miles. It's dropped down a little bit purely and simply because being off for 12 weeks, I'm post 190 now, okay? So I got to get back down to the 190, and I'm working on that. But I'm still getting 32 to 35 miles per charge on this board, or on this board per ride. And I was getting 35 miles when I first got it. So that battery is hanging in and doing a great job. The deck, I love the deck on it. It's got a really nice concave deck. Getting a little bit of grip tape wear, but you know, what are you going to expect after 648 miles? The trucks, the bushings, the pivot cups are doing really great, holding in there well. As you know, I did swap out to the cloud wheels on it. I did also switch out to the Black Mamba bearings that I found on Amazon. I really like those bearings. I'd encourage you to check it out. If you're finding something that's better, right below, tell me a little bit about it. I'd like to know more if there's a better bearing out there. But I do have Black Mambas running in all of these boards. Again, the deck is in great shape. The acceleration on this, I usually run it in speed mode 3. A lot of times, sometimes I'll bump it up into the turbo mode. It is a great board with great acceleration, great longevity. A lot of people complain about the braking. I refer to the braking as progressive braking. You know, when you're doing 25, 30 miles per hour and you start to lean into those brakes, this board is going to gradually slow you down until you get to the slower points, and then it's going to really start. There's a couple of times when I got into that lower speed and the braking really kicked in that I had to run off the board. But this is a board that you want to be thinking a little bit ahead of you in regards to where you need to stop or where you need to slow down. I still love this board. I have very little problem with the braking. I really like the acceleration, but if you are the guy that wants a more aggressive board, maybe more acceleration, more aggressive braking, that's when you're going to lean over here into the Eovan GTS. This board is by far my second most favorite board. This board, purple or maroon deck, I love maroon, so of course I'm going to love this board. This has a flatter deck in it. That's probably my only complaint about this board is that the flatness of the deck, but it's still a great board. This board has the double kingpin trucks in it, so this is not a board that I'm going to jump on and do 37 miles per hour for a continuous amount of time, because it's just not as stable with those double kingpins. Now, I do have my trucks really tightened down. Those bushings are pretty tight, but I still have a really nice carvability, and this is a carver board. I love this board for carving with those double kingpins. It's got a nice tight turning radius. This particular board has 443 miles on it, and I am still getting between 28 and 30 miles per charge on this board. Now, I do have some really nice aggressive acceleration on a fresh top end of the battery. When I get down around that middle part, I begin to see it slow down just a little bit, which you would expect. And then when I get into the bottom quarter of the battery, that's when I don't have nearly the acceleration, but on a flat area, it still does really well. This is a board that has a VSC in it, and that VSC, I love the VSC. Really love it. I love the Hobby Wings, okay? I love the Ling Yis, but I really love the VSC that's in this because it is really customizable. I can go into the 4 levels and I can change the acceleration, I can change the braking on each of the 4 levels on this board. And I will tell you that there's a guy in the neighborhood that has a Meepo Hurricane, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And I went out one day and I happened to have this board and I threw it in sport mode and I was hanging with him, you know, just kind of toying with him a little bit. And he was asking me about the board and stuff. So then we stopped and I threw it into race mode. This board ran his Hurricane for a run for the money. And he was like, dude, he says, wow, he says, what'd you do to the board? And I says, I just changed it into race mode. This is a very nice, aggressive board. Acceleration is unbelievable. It is a pretty stable board, even for a double kingpin, but I love that VSC system in there. And I wish more boards would actually move to the VSC, but this is a really good board. Again, trucks are holding up great. The bushings are holding up great. The pivot cups are holding up great. The wheels on here, again, they're the cloud wheels. These wheels have right around 400 miles on them. And oh, by the way, the Hurricane, or excuse me, the Zeus has 600 miles on those wheels, and they still look really great. I love the cloud wheels. This board right here, I would recommend, both of these boards, I would recommend to anyone. If you're a novice rider or an intermediate rider, I don't know, maybe you've been on a backfire G3, you know, doing about 24 miles per hour, getting about 18 miles per charge, and you're saying, you know, I want to jump up into a more stealthy board without hitting those $5,000, $6,000 boutique boards, I would strongly recommend these boards to you. They're a great board. If you want stability, I'm going to recommend the Zeus to you. If you want a great carver with some good acceleration and great braking, I'm going to recommend the Eovan GTS. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Hurricane. The Hurricane has not held up as well, and let me explain to you what I mean by that. When I received this board, it just did not seem to run like it should. You know, I watched everyone else, I was reading about them, and everyone was talking about how aggressive this board was. This board just was not aggressive. As a matter of fact, I had it out. I was riding one day, ran into a guy in the neighborhood that was on an e-skate, and he goes, dude, he says, you got a Hurricane also? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And he says, well, how do you like it? And I said, you know, right now I really don't like it. And he asked me why. So I was explaining to him why. He says, dude, he says, jump on my board. He says, there's got to be something wrong with your board. He says, jump on mine. So I did. Complete night and day. His board was extremely aggressive and powerful. This board was doggy. So I'd already been talking to Meepo. Meepo's been really great about communication. They've been really good with their support. First, they sent out a charger. Didn't take care of the issue. We then did some additional electrical tests on the system, and they believe that this may have a bad battery in it. So what they're doing right now is they are in the process of sending out a new battery, and I haven't received it yet. So I want to hold the jury on this, because if this board runs like his, this board is clearly going to be in with the contenders of these other two boards, the Zeus and the GTS. Again, running the cloud wheels, this board, two trucks have been holding up, but this board only has 112 miles on it. That's all I've been able to put on this board because of that battery. I am running the Black Mamba bearings on this board. And the one thing I love about this board is I love the deck. The first thing I love is I love the grip tape that they use on this. This grip tape is extremely aggressive. It has a very aggressive concave design in the deck as far as the shoulders, and even between the nose and the tail, there's a very aggressive concave. So I'm hoping that the battery takes care of this. These boards, 648 miles, 443, 112. These boards are holding up extremely well. Now remember, we're going to dig into each of these boards separately, and we're going to take a look at how they're holding up after that many miles. So look for those videos. Look for the videos on the wheels. Look for the videos on the shoes. I think you're going to like some of the stuff coming up. E-skate hooligan. I'm going riding. Have a great day.